Hello.
Hello.
We're Knit Camera Action, and I'm Stephanie.
And I'm Rebecca.
And
this is Mishka.
Hi,
and he
Mishka.
is trying to steal yarn.
Yes.
So he's going to sit with us until he gets annoyed enough to leave the room. But yeah, he's trying to steal some yarn. Maybe.
It smells interesting.
He's going to escape soon. Because it came from Stephanie's house with Stephanie's cats.
Yes.
Who don't live here.
Nope.
And that's
They're
intriguing.
Strangers.
And now we'll see if he's annoyed enough to leave.
He has such a poofy
Maybe.
tail.
Haha!
Goodbye, poofy tail.
Success. Oh, he's a goof. Anyway. Oh, we're here. We're working on things.
We are.
We have yarn. It's good stuff.
Mm.
And we're going to watch a show today. We're going to watch Goonies. Although I think Misha moved the camera. Sorry, hold on.
Is it Goonies or The Goonies? I actually do not know the answer to this.
I believe it's The Goonies, actually.
Okay.
But yeah, so this is a fun movie from the 80s, 1985, I believe. And we have... I know I've seen this as a kid. This is one of those things that I saw as a kid, and it was around, and people talked about it a lot, but it has been so many years since I've seen this. But my remembering is that basically there's these kids, and they're following a treasure map in the caves by their house.
Yes.
Pretty much.
Sort of.
And then, like, things happen.
But they're following the map because the big bad developers are coming.
Oh, I
They
don't
need
remember
to
that.
save their neighborhood. Or
Got
something.
it. So they need to, like, find the treasure to, like, buy the land out from under the developers, kind of a thing?
I think so. So that they don't have to sell their houses. Now, I am known for not really remembering the plots of things. So if that is totally
That's
off,
wrong. We'll tell you later.
Yeah. Just saying, just throwing that out there. One time, my poor husband, he knows like every movie that ever happened.
So good.
He suffers.
He's so good at movies.
Much.
We
And
give him the worst descriptions, and he's like, "Oh, it's that movie."
Yes.
Like, I think we may or may not have mentioned this before, but I once asked him, "What's that movie where high school girls are mean to each other?" And it took him 2 tries.
Yeah.
To get to Jawbreaker.
Yeah. Jawbreaker.
Jawbreaker.
Not Heathers.
Not Heathers.
Jawbreaker.
Not Mean Girls. Jawbreaker. 2 tries. I don't know how he does it. But...
One time I said something about like the guy who was like insane, and there was a fire at a castle, and he's like, "Oh yeah, the 9th gate." I'm like, "What? How? What? Like that is not even
and I don't
anything
remember
to do with the plot of the movie except the very end, and like that gives nothing away."
Yeah, I don't remember what video it was, but we did have him on, I think, last summer as we were talking about The Wizard.
Yeah.
With the Nintendo.
Yeah.
The Nintendo competition. So, like, yeah. Anyway, Paul knows his movies.
He does.
We don't so much.
Nope.
But we're going to watch The Goonies or something. We'll get back to you. Great movie from 1985.
Yep.
And, yeah.
I watched it as a late teen.
As
I
a late
believe
teen.
was the first time I got to see it. And
Nice.
I was like, okay, like, I get, like, it's fine, but, like, what's the obsession? And now I'm like, oh, the Goonies.
Although there was a really fun thing that I saw on, I think, Instagram or something, and it was like, you know, generation check of like, when you hear the name Sean Astin, what do you think of? Is it like Goonies or Lord of the Rings or something for like Gen Z? And I don't remember what that something was, but yeah, we've got little baby Sean Astin here. I think he was, I don't know, supposed to be maybe 12 or 13.
Yeah.
I think the character is about 12 or 13 or so. I don't remember how old I was when I first watched this. It was just around sometimes. I don't know. But yeah.
Well, I'll be working on this.
And you're working on that, which is your hexagon sweater.
Yes, hexagon sweater.
Hexagon sweater.
Still working on that.
And I have a cabled hat out of Queensland cassowary. So yeah, we'll make some progress. Watch the Goonies. And we'll come back and tell you all the things that we just said that were wrong.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Enjoy.
Yep. Here
we're
back.
So we watched the Goonies.
We did. It is the Goonies.
The Goonies.
The
yes.
Goonies.
The Goonies.
So we found that out.
Yes.
Other things.
Yeah. How's your hat?
My hat is slightly longer.
Yay.
I believe like this whole last color repeat here I got done.
I feel like you were like maybe just in the red.
Yeah, like just right here, and now I've like gone through the yellow and I'm like getting back to red.
Nice.
However, I am now at a cable section, so we're gonna put it off to the side because I'm not cabling while we talk.
It's safer that way.
Yeah. How is your sweater?
My sweater's coming along. So right before we started, we decided, we being both of us, because this is a group discussion, that I needed to add 2 more rounds on each hexagon before starting some short rows that will shape the back and the bottom a little bit, or actually just add width to the back and length to the, anyway, so no more sleeving. So I have finished those 2 rounds on both hexagons, and took some pictures, did some pinning and looking, and now I am carrying on with the back.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent.
The back and the sides, but not the sleeves. 3 sides now. 3, 4, whatever. It's 3 because the sleeves are the 2 and the
4, 5.
I had to think about it. Yeah. I think we
4,
just
5,
saw
6.
math numbers go in front of our faces. Just now we were both like,
I mean,
yeah.
geometry.
Yes.
We figured it out. It didn't take that long.
Sides. Yep.
Yeah, it's all good.
Not bad. So, yeah, the Goonies.
The Goonies.
Yes,
there we go.
So, things we were right about.
Mm-hmm.
We were right. It was the Goonies.
The Goonies.
It was from 1985.
From 1985.
So,
yes.
85. Man, like.
It was a year.
Whew,
things
it
happened.
Sure was. Yeah.
And boy, that movie felt 85.
It did. It really did. Yeah, so there was the evil developer was coming to the town. They were turning it into a country club.
Yeah.
So,
golf courses on a cliff, obviously.
Yeah, a great place for a golf course.
Everyone wants their golf course on a cliff.
Huge hill. Great.
Yeah.
Like, gravity, guys. Come on, think this one through. Any golf course aficionados out there that has anything to say, please let us know.
Maybe like that's where the tee is, and like you drive your golf course up the hill to the tee, and then you like walk down.
All right, walk down. All right, I thought you meant like golf up. And I was like, boy, that's
we don't want to golf up.
That's a tough one, but
that would be awful.
I mean, that would be like I don't know. There were lots of like random Rube Goldberg machines in this, which was kind of cool.
So many Rube Goldberg
I guess they were really trying to go with like the Data kid was like the son of an inventor, and so he's an inventor too. And it's cute.
I mean, there's that, and then there was also like he, had specifically labeled 007 music, and it was the theme to James Bond.
Yes.
So I don't know if he was also trying to be Q. Or like have Q gadgets.
Q energy for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't think about that. That kind of makes sense.
But I mean, like, one of his gadgets was, the boxing glove on a spring on his belt, which is way more Looney Tunes than James Bond. But
very Looney Tunes.
Very Looney Tunes.
Yeah.
It worked the first time.
Yeah. Which
not so much other times.
That's okay.
It's okay. He's a kid. It's fine.
Yeah. And it was it's fun to see Chunk.
Yeah, Chunk.
Yeah. So Chunk is retired from acting.
Really? Okay.
He's retired from acting, and now he's like a lawyer.
Okay.
Yeah, I know. And he just looks like some random dude.
Just like, guy.
Just some guy you'd pass.
I mean, I feel like it'd be really hard to come back from playing Chunk and do like anything else.
Well, I mean, he looks pretty different as an adult.
I know, but still,
as a kid actor, be like, yeah, I've peaked. It's time to like move on for a while, and who knows what's in his future.
I mean, like Will Wheaton made it work. I mean, he wasn't Chunk, but like he was a kid actor, and he's like gone on to do all sorts of other things. But like, because we watched it on Max, and afterwards, because Corey Feldman was in it, Max then recommended Stand By Me, which is how Will Wheaton got into my head.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I was laying my sweater on the floor at that point.
Sure.
Distracted.
Well, it also, when I found it the other day and I was like, hey, we're going to watch the Goonies, it was like, hey, do you want to watch Stand By Me? And I'm like, that's a really weird pairing. I mean, sort of, but like sort of not. But like, what? And then today I was like, oh, it's because Corey's in it.
Yeah. So it was interesting to me that like this movie came out in 1985, right? 85.
Yep, 85.
The rating was PG.
Yeah.
But like,
yeah.
I don't know if it would be PG.
No.
I don't know. Like, I feel like
honestly, I feel like it just wouldn't even be able to be made.
Well, maybe there were a couple things where I was like, oof, the 80s. Like, like.
But I mean, like, okay, so it's a kid's adventure take on Indiana Jones, whatever. So there's a lot of like random slapstick kind of stuff. Like they pick up some candles that, oh no, turn out to be dynamite.
Right.
Okay, fine, whatever. You know, there's a boxing glove on a spring and somebody gets hit in the face. Okay, fine, whatever. But I mean, like, there's also adjusting rear view mirrors to like,
right, to look down the girls, and like
dress. And
there's
like,
some,
what?
you know,
no.
Definitely some heavy topics referenced. I don't want to bring anything up because, like,
no,
whatever.
That's not what we're here for. But
no, but I was like, oh, kids movie, and
right?
Then you know,
like,
reference.
Well, I guess the 80s
is the key word there. But I enjoyed when you were like,
I don't think anybody.
They're gonna burn down the jail. They didn't burn down the jail.
They didn't burn down the jail. They just started a fire in front of the jail.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. So that was
like you said, like kind of slapsticky.
Yeah, and I think that was fine because like we didn't, you know, visually see anybody get hurt.
Yeah.
Long term,
right.
Like there wasn't any blood. There wasn't anybody who like had a broken bone. They fell. They screamed. They shouted.
Yeah.
But
there were skeletons.
There were skeletons, but they were completely skeletons.
Right.
There wasn't any like gore.
Right. Except for that fish on the rake.
Well, yeah, but it's a fish.
Yeah.
It's a fish.
I mean, it looked like it had a fish head.
It was a fish head. It was like a chopped off fish head.
Yeah.
But the language surprised me.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a little languagey.
It was like, wow, okay, they let that through?
Yep.
Interesting.
It was the 80s.
It was the 80s.
It was a time.
Yep.
But it was cute, you know, they had like these kids and they're like, there's
you know
like
what I really liked about the kids?
What?
There were like the two brothers, right? So we got these two brothers and his three friends. So we've got the 2 and the 3, and it was like a nice balance because like the brothers, I don't know how old the main kids are. They're what, like 11, 12-ish, somewhere in there. It's not exactly clear. But like between the younger brother, who's Mikey, who's Sean Astin, and then his older brother, who's 15, 16, like there was a good balance of
back and forth
between the 3 goofy sidekicks and then kind of like the 2 main characters. Because at some point, like, they pick up, like, these 2 high school girls get thrown in along with it to, like, kind of balance out the teenager of it all instead of just a bunch of random kids. But there's the 5 basics. So we've got, like, the 3 goofy sidekicks and the 2 main characters. So, like, that's a really good balance, I thought.
Yeah.
I thought it worked out well. And I mean, they all clearly knew each other really well, and
they were all like,
you know, there was
and like
the older brother, little brother energy of like, oh my gosh, you're just so stupid, stop doing that. Oh, I hate your friends.
Yeah, pretty much. It was cute.
It was cute.
Treasure was found, except we didn't call it treasure.
No,
we called it the rich stuff.
The rich stuff.
It's the rich stuff.
Yeah. One-eyed Willie's rich stuff.
Yes. The rich stuff is over here. Yeah. We're like, the rich stuff?
Rich stuff? Treasure is that hard. From? Like, because they had, I guess, Mikey and Brandon's dad is a curator in a museum, and he told Mikey this story as a kid about how One-Eyed Willie had jewels and gold and specific items.
Right.
And then that turned into rich stuff. Because I guess treasure is a hard word, but it's the same amount of syllables as rich stuff.
They must have said treasure at some point.
They must have said treasure at some point, but really not that many times.
Like, it was interesting, like, so this was was it Spielberg?
Yeah.
And then Chris Columbus did the screenplay.
Yeah.
So I wonder if they had like a limit of the number of times they could say treasure, or they were trying to avoid it, and then that became some kind of running gag. I don't know.
Maybe, but like, why would that be?
Why would they say rich stuff?
I don't know.
It doesn't make any sense.
It really doesn't.
It's kind of like in the middle of the movie when they're like, Goonies never say die. And we're like,
this
what?
has never been a thing.
It's never come up.
This has never come up. Also, there's like no
What?
explanation for where the term Goonies came from.
Yes.
They just are Goonies.
They are. And
which is not goons. Like,
right.
Nobody makes anything of
and
like,
it's not
oh,
goobers.
you goons are gonna like grow up to be goons, and so now
Right.
you're Goonies because
Goonies,
you're little.
A little.
They
I guess
just call
a little,
themselves Goonies.
A little explanation would have helped. But then
They're
again,
just there.
it's an 80s kids movie.
It's an 80s kids movie.
There is no explanation.
No.
There's
no.
only Zool.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Although I do, since you're bringing up other movies, I get to now too. So last summer I made you watch a different 80s kids movie, and you sure did have reactions to that.
I've
So,
blocked all memories.
You blocked memories of The
I
Last Unicorn?
Oh, yeah. You did make me watch
I
that.
did make you watch that.
It sure was a movie.
Wow, okay.
Huh. I remember it fondly.
Okay.
Not fondly. I don't remember. I mean, I wasn't like, wow, this movie changed my life.
No, sure.
It was like, okay,
It's
I
like,
get,
yep, that's
I get
a movie.
why this is like
okay, sure.
one of those childhood
Yeah,
nostalgia movies.
yeah, no, it's definitely a childhood nostalgia
One
movie.
of my childhood nostalgia movies came up earlier
Uh-huh.
during the reference in the Goonies too, Gremlins.
Yes.
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 That's what I watched as a kid.
Sure.
Yeah, as you do. So anyway, I think did we hit all the Goonie bits that we wanted to cover?
I mean, I think so.
Yeah, I could really go for a Baby Ruth personally.
Yeah, no, Baby Ruths are good.
Yeah.
Certainly are. I don't need any of whatever that water was.
No.
I guess as a kid I thought it was dirty. As an adult, I'm thinking maybe it was more alcohol. Like maybe like she gave them whiskey or something because that's what was there. Still don't understand why she didn't just like throw them out, because eventually she just throws them out anyway. I don't know, whatever.
The Fratellis.
The Fratellis, yeah.
And the random opera singing.
Yeah. It was a thing.
It's the 80s.
It sure happened.
It's the 80s.
There were some definitely established bad guys.
Mm-hmm.
Separate from the developers. They, had to run away from the different bad guys the whole time in order to
Well, they were chasing
find
them.
Yes.
Because they were also looking for the treasure.
Well, they didn't know about the treasure until they ran into the Goonies.
Right.
And the Goonies told them about the treasure, sort of. But then it was like, oh no, you guys know about us being the Fratellis, even though there were wanted posters for them. But like, whatever.
They know where they are.
They know where they are. They know what they're up to. They know they've done other things.
They found out about
Sloth. And
hero of the movie.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. But yeah, no, I think that's all the Goonies talk.
Yeah. I think we hit the highlights there.
Mm-hmm.
It was cute.
It was good.
I'll watch it again in another decade or so.
Yeah, yeah. It's certainly like, yeah, that was a movie. It was interesting. Things happened. Things kept happening. Some things could have used a little bit more explanation, but things certainly happened.
Yep.
And that was good. It was a fun time. Yep.
So there you go. The Goonies.
We watched
it.
There you go. We watched it. Mm-hmm. We did some yarn things. Yep. Do we have any other yarn things to talk about at the moment? I know we've both kind of been doing a lot of spinning.
So much spinning. Yeah. I've been doing a ton of spinning. And I meant to bring over some spinning. And I didn't. But I do have pictures.
Yeah.
So
I have a lot of pictures.
I've been doing a lot of spinning. A couple weeks ago was spring break for me, and it was spinning break apparently.
Yeah.
So
what you got through? Like what?
Quite a bit. Yeah.
3 things. I mean, some of them were like bobbins that the singles had been done,
Right.
and then you just like
Finish
plied
it.
them.
Yeah.
Plied them and finished them. But I think you like started and finished
A couple things.
a couple things. Yeah.
Including like the hand spun hat.
Uh-huh.
Where I spun the yarn.
Yeah,
through
it started as, well, here's, you know, a little bit of a sample.
Yeah, it was a sample bat
Tufty
that I got
sample
a
bat.
long time ago, and I had spun on my electric eel nano, and then I was like, well, that was fun, and then I didn't do anything with it, and then I got out the nano and was like, oh, there's singles on
I
this
had
bobbin.
stuff here.
What else could I do? Well, let's try out the nano again. So I spun some gray and plied it together, and then I spun some straight up gray yarn, and then I made a hat. So it was pretty adorable. It's for my niece. She has it now, which is probably good since it's been chilly out. So
yeah,
yeah,
we talked about that before.
We
but
did.
You know, whatever.
Circling back around.
Circling back around, yeah, but not getting twisted.
Yeah. No, absolutely not. Unless you only twist a half twist, and then it's a Mobius.
Well, yeah, but then it's Mobius.
Dun dun dun.
There are certain limitations to Mobius.
Sure. Mobius's.
I don't. Mobii, I think. I'm gonna go with Mobii. I was debating.
Who got the math numbers?
The Pod.
Oh yeah.
Like the Greek.
Like octopodes.
No.
No.
Like octopode.
It's pronounced octopodes, according to Merriam-Webster, who might have posted that on April Fool's Day. For all I know.
I'm gonna go with yes, because octopode ends in a D.
Yeah. Well, I'm doing like plural.
Oh, octopodes?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, but I don't think there's not a P in there already, so I don't think Mobius is gonna be a pod.
No.
No.
Yeah.
So I guess just Mobii. But that's weird because all of those ancient languages, once you have a character, it does not change its sound. So you're not going to have an EI. Yeah.
Yes, this is riveting.
I mean, for someone it is.
Yes.
For the two of us.
Pretty much.
Anybody else, not so sure. But
I mean, I'm interested. I don't really know
now
a lot
we need
about
to know.
ancient languages.
Now we need to know. But
I used to sing in like choir, and we would do songs in Latin, so I can pronounce the heck out of singing Latin.
Exactly.
Which is somehow actually different than scientific Latin.
Well, scientific Latin, sure, because scientific Latin has actually had people saying it over the years.
Right.
Whereas other Latins have not. And then you get into like the Greek, and there's differences between ancient Greek and ecclesiastic Greek, and then like, Greece still exists.
What?
Yeah. So there are differences there too.
That makes sense.
Yeah. But
languages are fun.
I don't know the plural of Mobius.
Nope.
Because obviously you can have more than one strip.
You could.
You could. It's fine.
Now I want to make a Mobius cowl.
I want to make a Klein bottle, and I don't know how.
Oh.
Yeah. Somebody has, I think, what's his name? Matt Parker, I think, maybe. He got together with his mom, and they made a Klein bottle hat pattern.
Oh, I think I've seen that.
You end up, like, grafting it together, which, I mean, makes sense.
I made a non-Euclidean shape.
Yeah. Those are fairly easy.
I crocheted it.
Yep.
It looks like coral.
Yeah.
It was for the calculus teacher.
Ah, sure.
He had it in a math book, and he's like, I heard that you can do things with yarn. I was like, I can do things with yarn. And he's like, can you make this? And he showed me. And I was like, actually, yes.
Probably in less than an hour, actually. Because
it was intense.
Oh, it was like a real pattern?
It was like a 3-day adventure.
Because, like, also, if you crochet a loofah, that's basically also a non-Euclidean shape. Where you, just do all the increases. That's basically what it was. Yeah. Just depends on how big you want it to be.
It's pretty cool.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, if you want it so that you can actually show that it's non-Euclidean, it has to be pretty big so that you can show the different straight lines and how they're straight but also not crossing.
But also wrong.
They're not wrong. They're just differently parallel.
Okay.
Which is the whole issue, because it's Euclid, Book 1, Proposition 5. No, not Proposition, but Postulate 5. That's the one where it says things about parallel lines that I don't need to go into, because even Stephanie doesn't care at this point. No.
I mean, I care that you care.
Yeah.
But Euclid is cool.
He's
cool.
It's fine.
He's cool.
He sure did do some things.
He
anyway,
sure did.
So we watched a movie about a treasure hunt. And that was pretty cool.
A rich stuff hunt.
Rich stuff. I'm sorry, yes. A rich stuff hunt. Rich stuff hunt.
Should we go find some rich stuff? Oh.
So Corey Feldman has a name. I think his name is Carl. I don't know. The mom calls him by an actual name at one point, but like mostly they call him Mouth.
Yes.
And apparently he speaks like perfect Spanish. And so like they have this treasure map, rich stuff map from 16 whatever, and it's all in Spanish because it's 16 whatever. Sure, fine. And he's like perfectly translating it the whole time. But at the very beginning, when they're all moving out of their house, and he's like saying all of this horrible stuff to the Spanish-speaking woman who's coming to help them pack because, you know, the developers are coming in to buy the house and everything. And we were watching it and we're like, is he doing this on purpose? Yeah, and then we keep watching the movie and we're like, he is doing this on purpose. Oh my gosh. Wow. Again, PG-13 was right there. And they did not give this movie a PG-13.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm surprised what with all the drug references.
Yes.
So
there were a few.
Yep.
There were a few.
All right there.
All right there, very clearly.
Yeah.
Written out and everything. Oh my gosh. Anyway, that was my last thought there.
It was funny though.
It was very funny. It was very funny. Because like we were talking about, it's like, maybe he heard this somewhere. Maybe he's just translating poorly and like doesn't actually understand what he's saying.
He watched a movie.
That one sounds pretty deliberate. He's got some good inflection there. Sounds like maybe he has some thoughts. And then the whole rest of the movie, he's like perfectly translating the Spanish treasure map, which the only conclusion that can be drawn is he absolutely does actually know Spanish and is saying all of those things on purpose.
Yep.
So that's a thing that happened.
In this PG movie.
In this PG movie.
It was the 80s.
Back in the day.
85.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, 85. Wow. Goodness. Yup. So there it is. I don't know. I think we're done.
I think we're done.
Well, thanks for joining us. Let us know if there was anything that was surprising for you as you rewatched really any shows from your childhood. If there's been a big gap and you're like, wow, did that make that past any adult? Really? Because it definitely seems like something that a bunch of kids would have put together. But the fact that adults signed off on this, even in the 80s, seems a little surprising to me. But
it was the 80s.
It was the 80s. But yeah. All right. Thanks for joining us. And we shall check in with you again another time.
Yep.
Bye.